Good morning. Hey,
Good
Mary
morning,
Beth.
everyone.
Happy Sunday.
We're still in Sunday cozy mode.
Yeah, totally. Still my pajamas on because it's Sunday. So, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. If you are just meeting us for the first time, I am Tina O, and this is my writing partner, Mary Beth Dean.
Hi. Sorry, spaced out for a second there.
It's Sunday morning of the
I was
Writers
I
of.
was looking at how you were pointing at me, which was
Oh,
actually the
goodness.
wrong direction
It's not bad,
because
eh? It's pretty good. Vogue, of the Writer's Adventure, and we are on morning or day 3 of a 3-day writers boot camp. Mary Beth and I are launching a 14-month cohort for 30 writers called The Writer's Adventure, walking you from beginning, middle, end of a piece that you are writing, be it a body of work, be it an album, be it a novel, be it whatever it is, that big thing.
maybe
Hey,
a slew of poetry.
a slew of poetry. Oh, I
Blurry.
like that. A flurry of poetry. I like it. And we wanted to give you a taste of how we work. Mary Beth and I occupy very unique pieces of the story. I work from the inside out. She works from the outside in. Often in our teaching, training, holding space for writers, we will take different perspectives, and that's all part of the investigative process that you're in, the exploratory process that you're in. And to us, writing is an adventure. It's a relationship we want you to have for the rest of your life. It is companionship, it is juice, it's motivation, it's all the things that fills us up. Like, when I can I ask you, Mary Beth, we didn't plan this, but, like, why do you write? Why do you write?
Uh, I feel like if I don't get it on paper, then I get lost in my head
Mhm.
and I just have the same conversation over and over and over.
Right.
So I feel like it's a much more healthy way for me. I mean, whatever, talking's great, but I feel when I write, I'm forced to process in a deeper and more meaningful way.
Mhm.
And just to be more creative about it instead of just, I don't know, ranting is whatever, ranting is fine, but writing is more.
Ranting is fine, but writing is more. I
And
like
I
that.
also find that when I write, new things emerge.
Mhm. Right. And I think the other thing that we should let people know about us is that, um, while this is the writer's adventure and we're talking about getting words on the page, the way that we work and what we're all about is the understanding that when you're done writing, the public's gonna get it. So there's a piece of creative writing is great, exploratory writing is great. That's all part of the process. Knowing how to do that is great. Uh, and the piece that we bring to the table is all of that is meant to lead somewhere and supporting you as a writer to be what we call, like, well, it's not the right word, but like bulletproof. Like, you've done so much work. You've rooted your piece. You've asked all the questions. You've asked all the hard questions. You've written into everything. So when you finally publish this sucker, like, it is public ready, and you are public ready, that the writer has done its job, and the book or the piece that you've created is now ready for public consumption. People will like it, people won't like it, but you answered all the questions and you showed up. So just want to share that because I was thinking about when I ask you why you write, I think, knowing you from the side, that you write into hope.
Hmm. Maybe. I think for me, more importantly and more basically, it's when you end, you're somewhere different than when you started,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
Whether emotionally or perspective wise or whatever, which is why I talk about working through things, right?
mhm,
There's no sense ranting in circles if you
mhm,
just keep landing in the same place.
mhm,
We want to move forward and advance our thinking and feeling in a way to navigate the world, right?
mhm. And I think that's a great segue into what we're talking about for these next 10 minutes on our last morning in the writer's adventure engine room, is that you're going somewhere. You want to end different. So the reader needs to be changed. So if the reader is going to be changed, it means there needs to be obstacles. A rant has no obstacles in it. A rant is just, I know, I know, I know, I know. Watch, listen to
Exactly.
me knowing. I still know, I still know, I still know. And they're great for like, ah,
5 minutes.
yeah,
10 minutes.
but they don't change you. They don't.
Yeah.
It might smack you and go, ugh, I never saw it that way before. But it doesn't take you anywhere other than a new viewpoint.
Yeah.
But how are we changed? So we've been working on the engine room for those who are new. And the engine room we offer is the heartbeat of your book or your piece. And every chapter has an engine room. Every sentence has an engine room. It's the motivation, it's the impulse of that impact that you're writing into. And today being the last day, we've been doing writing prompts to open up the yearning, open up the emotional space. As Mary Beth said to me earlier this morning, she's like, "You're really good at that. Your whole vein of gold is the unconscious, like writing into the unconscious." And Mary Beth, yours is writing into the conscious, right? And then
Yeah. Let's face it. I'm an editor. I'm an editor, but also, it's so that's about going back and fixing things, but it's also about seeing where the gaps are or
Mhm.
seeing where the wrong turns have been made and then going and fixing those, which is a much more conscious process.
Yeah. Yeah. And
But
it's
to keep us going, to
yeah.
get the book written in the first place, we need to be able to. Well, I'm not going to speak for everyone, but I speak for myself when I say I think it's really important for me to give myself the daily opportunity to tap into the unconscious just to see what comes up, to get words on the page, and to keep me rolling.
Mhm. So help us a little bit because you said this great concept this morning that I loved. You called it slow writing. Like
Mm.
fast writing is the unconscious, right? Like the inspiration, the yearning, the emotional life, the clues. But then we got to do something with them.
The 5 minutes of writing prompt, and you just let it all pour out. That's
Yeah.
what Tina does all the time. She just lets it pour out until
Yeah.
she calls me and says, I'm stuck.
What do I do with this?
But then the conscious writing, which is slower, is the one where you go, wait a second, what am I supposed to be saying here? Where do I
Mhm.
want to go with this? You ask yourself questions. If you're writing something fictional, you're like, who is this character again? Well, why am I making them do this? Why am I making them do that? Oh, it's just like being a little bit more asking yourself some hard questions.
Mhm.
It's slow and a bit painful sometimes, but that's why we got to give ourselves the fast writing breaks too.
Mhm. So the word that popped into my head is deliberate.
Deliberate. That's a great word.
Right? Because we move from this place of inspiration into impact, which we talked about last night, impact and theme. So it's like, I've got this inspiration. Where does it want me to go? Okay, this is the impact I know right now. It could change, but this is the goalpost. I think that I'm taking their hand to take them to. Boom. Now we've got this in between state of moving from there to there, and so obstacles have to come up. What's in the way?
Mm,
What's in the way? So we have some writing prompts for you this morning, to offer a space for you to discover what some of those obstacles may be. Do you want to speak a little bit to obstacles, Mary Beth,
sure.
around?
I want to get into it more this afternoon. I don't want to go
Okay.
too deep right now, but
Right.
you know, I said something yesterday about the friction that brings heat to the engine. So, obstacles are in the same vein. It's like, what are you up against here? There's
Mhm.
no story unless you're up against something, and unless you're actually willing to take that on,
Mhm.
right? I mean, look at Jaws. The
Mhm.
mayor is going, no, 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 it's fine. The shark's gone. But someone else is sitting there going, we gotta go. We gotta seriously come up again. It's scary. There's this big, crazy mechanical shark out there, because let's face it, real sharks are much nicer. No, but
Mechanical shark eating people.
there's a big monster out there. We're gonna go out into the water and face it,
Mhm.
because if we don't, then something's at stake here.
So let's offer this. Mhm. I was gonna say, let's offer this then. So in the writing prompts that we're giving you, and if you think back to what you did last night, you wrote 500 words last night about something. You're gonna look at those 500 words, and now that you know to find the yearning, you'll be able to nail the yearning. You'll be able to see the impact of where you're going. You might tickle out some of the theme that was where you were going last night, but you're like, nothing's really happening in this scene, and those are your obstacles. So see if you can look back at what you wrote last night and go, what's the monster in the water? As Mary Beth said, what's the
Mm.
monster in the water in
The
this?
thing that you don't want to face, but you're gonna face.
Yeah. Hi, Shaw. Kids in the wild.
You can give me 5 minutes. Thank you.
No, I can't. No, I'm not able.
I'm very sorry.
That's okay. Sunday morning. This is how it rolls. Okay, so go back to your 500 words. We're going to give you these writing prompts. You want to read them out, Mary Beth? Have you got them close by?
Sure, I got them right here. Yeah. So remember, we're thinking. These were created to help you think about what might be at risk in your writing. So wait, where did those go? Where did those go? Okay. Sunday morning. Prompt number 1. I shouldn't say it, but here goes. I shouldn't say it, but here goes. Number 2. You've heard this story before, but not this version. And number 3, just give me a little space to explain myself.
I love that writing prompt. I love that one. Do we have a fourth one or is it just 3?
Just those 3.
Okay.
We can maybe throw a fourth one in if we need to, but
Okay.
we got those 3.
And something I want you to consider, this whole process now is, what are the obstacles? So I say that. Now, some of you are super obstacle writers. Some of you always think, what's the problem? What's the problem? What's the problem? This is not going to be hard for you. Others of you might be like, what's the hope? What's the hope? What's the hope? What's the hope? That'll make this obstacle thing hard for you. Let me tell you, if you only write about hope, I have no reason to turn the page on your story, because nothing's happening, because you've already told me everything's going to be okay. I am not changed by only seeing, by only telling me how I'm supposed to heal. I am changed by having an embodied experience of going on a journey. And so when we say, what's that monster? It's what's that obstacle? What's in the way that's going to take me as a reader on a journey to the hope that you see for us? If that's what you end your piece on, and you don't have to. Some pieces end very bleakly, because that's the awakening.
But you're still in a different place than you were when you started.
Exactly. Okay, so go back to your 500 words. Get some glimpses out of that. Take a look at these writing prompts, write into these writing prompts. And when we see you today at 1 o'clock, we're going to unpack a little bit more about how to do slow writing, how to work with obstacles, and we'll give you a little bit more of a framework of what a typical journey looks like, so that you can close your weekend having a piece with a beginning, middle, end, at least a sketch of it, if not the whole piece. That's all we got, I think. Hey, Mary Beth?
Yep.
Okay, it's time to go have some coffee, or more coffee anyway. Happy
All right.
Sunday, everybody.
Bye.
You at 1. Bye.